what have they got? Oh, they've got a scrub hare. Or they've actually, so pigs will sometimes eat meat. And now what's happened, this is very, very cool. I can't see what meat it is. It looked like a baby. Yes, it's a little rabbit, a little scrub hare that looks like the pigs have killed. Now, it is unusual, but they will sometimes eat meat. They are omnivores, which means they eat both meat and grass, but mostly grass. Isn't that amazing? That is not something you see every day. Now, a lot of animals out here eat meat, and this is nature, guys. So the animals have to kill to survive. Well, not normally warthogs, but they will. Look at that. That is incredible. This is very rare behavior. Now, I'm going to keep watching this very interesting, very rare warthog behavior. In the meantime, let's go see if Tayla's managed to find something on foot. And I don't want to scare the warthogs off. Now, normally, a scrub hare would be way too fast for a warthog. So there were 3 of them. I wonder if that scrub hare just barreled into them by accident. Now that's really, really good nutrients for this animal. So warthogs normally eat grass and bulbs, grass bulbs, tubers, roots, but they do occasionally eat meat, and they will eat meat. Sometimes they'll steal meat from leftovers from a leopard kill or a lion kill. But this, to see them with their own little carcass, is very rare. Actually, I think I've figured out what happened, Dave. I think it was killed by a predatory bird, an eagle, and while the eagle was still fighting with the hare while it was alive, the warthogs charged in and chased them off. That's what happened. I don't think these warthogs caught it themselves. I think they stole it from a bird. Let me just move forward a little bit for you, Dave. How's that, Dave? Now, an interesting question indeed from Dylan. Do you ever go on safari and not see any animals? Well, never, Dylan. We'll always see something, whether it's a bird or a spider or an impala or a warthog, but sometimes we go on safari and we don't always find the big cats we're looking for, but we will always see something. Now you can see the little warthog in the background is just eating grass and roots, while the one in the front is eating the scrub hare. Now it looked like it just ate the liver. Now the liver will be very rich in iron. Now I'm going to keep watching this warthog to see if it finishes the whole little hare. In the meantime, Tayla has got a pretty flying insect. Right in front of us, carrying the scrub hare. Look at her walking down the road proudly with her kill. How cool is that? Hello, Thandi. It's been so long since we found her and seen her that this is so cool. And she's right slap bang in the middle of the reserve. Now, I'm going to reverse back because otherwise she's going to go off the road. And I don't want her to go off the road because it's a situation where once she's off the road, it's going to be difficult to follow her. I want her to try and follow the road course as she goes because I'm pretty sure that's how she's going to lead us back to the cub. And so we're going to try and stay in front of her. But how cool is that? You can see she's obviously caught this scrub hare in the course of walking, because when
Aubrey first spotted her, he said to me all he saw was her walking but no sign of any scrub hair. And now when we got her now, she obviously, as you can see, has made a kill. So very opportunistic, and this is typical Thandi, is to grab small carcasses like this and then able to try and kind of drag them back to her cub. Now, I think we can, Nikki, I think it will be more than fun to add some new viewers to our broadcast. We'll just go live on our various platforms as Thandi carries her cub around. I mean, not her cub, her carcass. But there we go, she's slowly kind of walking down towards us. Isn't this cool? Look at how she walks with her head held high. Hello, girl. It's been very long. Where have you been? Proud mom that's walking along. Now, I'm going to sit with her for a little bit, but while we do that, let's quickly send you across to Tayla, who seems to have found the Inkum pride on foot.
We have a lion in the grass. We have a lion in the grass. Well spotted, Seb. The whole pride is here. In fact, you may be able to see the others. Where are we? You said they are. They actually one is slinking off now. No. They're just sitting low. We're going to walk a little bit. I'm just going to watch to see where they move. They haven't growled. They haven't done anything. They're just looking at us. So I'm going to stay behind Seb so he can get the best view. They know we're here. There's no need to pretend like we're not here anymore. It's quite a big pride of lions. So they're standing up now. Keep going, Seb. Just follow Vixen. That's a hectic sound, to have 10 lions running away from you. It's like buffalo stampeding, except it's not buffalo, it's the things that eat buffalo. There we go, so there's one lion that Seb's got. See, some of them ran away, the others didn't. Like I said, I'm not going to stop talking now, because I know we're here. And they're nervous of us. They really, really are quite nervous. So now that we have found them, oh, they're actually relaxing. One lion has actually just gone and laid down. That's awesome. That's fantastic. It might have been the sub-adults that actually ran, sort of not used to people, whereas there's one coming towards us. So if you want to use my shoulder, are you sure? This is so epic. Oh, so cool. Anyways, we probably won't stay long here. We'll just have a little look. Off you go back to Tristan, who's got a leopard with a scrub hair in her mouth.
We do indeed. So our leopard is still walking with her scrub hair straight towards us. We've looped round and she's going exactly where I've been walking around trying to find her little one. So we're in the exact right place, and I'm pretty sure she's going to call the cub out fairly shortly, and we'll get a reunion of mom with the carcass as well, which is going to be absolutely insane. Good afternoon and welcome to sunny South Africa with one of the most amazing sights that you could ever see. We've got a female leopard that is busy carrying a scrub hare in her mouth, and the reason she's carrying it is because she's taking it to her little cub. Now, my name is Tristan, and on camera I've got Viam, and we are coming to you live from South Africa, as I said, which means that this is interactive, and you guys can interact with us by just asking any questions or comments that you have in the comment section below, and we'll try and answer as many as possible. But this is so exciting. We've been looking for this leopard for days and days and days and days. She's our most kind of well-known female leopard in this area, and she's got a little cub that we've been following over the course of the last 5 months, and there's been a new male in the area which has caused this female to move out and to go somewhere else, and so we haven't really been seeing her nearly as much, and so it's really exciting to kind of have her back in the area and to have her with us. Now I'm trying to reverse with her because I know her cub is very, very close by. We've been trying to track her and the cub all afternoon, and we've managed to kind of find where the cub is. We just couldn't get a view of it, and now that mom's coming back with a kill, we should have a situation where we're going to hear her calling. Now we're not far from where the cub was a little bit earlier, maybe about, I would say, 50 meters away from where we are. And if we stop here, there's going to be a path that's going to come, and this leopard should walk directly down the path towards us. It is really the best thing that you can have, is to be able to find a leopard like this. Like I say, she's got food, she's going towards a cub, and we're going to see the reunion of her and her cub together. And look at how proudly she's walking with that scrub hare in her mouth as it dangles. Now this kill was an opportunistic kill. We had a situation where she was walking along and she saw the scrub hare and burst out and she grabbed it, and now she's carrying it back to the cub so that the cub can get vital nutrients to grow and get bigger. Now I'm going to have to reverse a little bit because she's coming straight towards us, and this is one of the best things about being in the Sabi Sands Game Reserve in Greater Kruger National Park, is that we have this ability to get very, very, very close and intimate with one of Africa's most elusive cats. So here in South Africa, this is one of the best places in the world for leopard viewing. The Sabi Sands is a world-renowned area for leopards, and it's because the leopards here generally are a lot more relaxed than in other parts of the world, and that means that it allows us these intimate views of their lives, and we're able to see them and their cubs up close, which is very, very special. Now I'm sorry if my head gets in the way. I'm trying to reverse while she's walking towards me because she's kind of trying to walk up the road. Now where we are now, pretty much at this spot, is the last tracks that I've had for the cub running around here, and I had some nyala barking in this area, and so I'm pretty sure she's going to kind of call the cub very soon. Now Ellie from Pakistan, you saying hello? Well, hello Ellie, I hope that you are well and enjoying this. Remember that you can ask lots and lots of questions, so if you have any questions about the leopard or the scrub hare or its cub, please let us know and we'll try and answer as many as possible. Now I'm just trying to keep kind of in front so that we can just see her walking towards us, and you'll notice that there is another car in the area, and that's because people have come out to come see these animals in real life. So South Africa is one of the best places in the world for an all year round safari. Even though we're in our summer months and our rainfall times, this is a great time of year to be here because it's a time of plenty, lots of baby animals, which means that the predators are very, very active because they are going to be hunting a lot of the baby animals that are around. Now we're just trying to keep up with her as much as possible. It's really difficult with the kind of winding of the road to reverse and follow a leopard and try and kind of see where you're going, but so far so good. I think she's just going to go behind that bush. She'll come past it now, but I'm trying to give her a little bit of space. I don't want to be right in her face. That's the thing about following wildlife, and why we're able to get so close to these leopards is because we spend a lot of time with them and give them their space. Diego, there is only currently one cub with this female. She's an older female. She's now closing in on 12. And when they get older, you'll find a situation where they generally do have smaller litters. So in the prime of her life, she would have been able to produce 2, 3, normally 2 with this particular female. All of her previous litters have been 2 cubs, and now she's only just had the little 1 cub. And that one cub is about now close to 6 months old and still very reliant on mom. It's going to take a long time until it's going to be hunting for itself. Paula, the scrub hare that we're referring to, it does look just like a rabbit and is part of the same family. So rabbits and scrub hares are in the same family. It's just that a scrub hare is an animal that we get here that occurs in this particular part of South Africa that comes out at night. So hares are animals that are generally more active at night. Now there's going to be a bark from an antelope shortly because there's an antelope right next to us called a nyala, and that nyala, when it sees the leopard, you see the leopard has spotted the nyala as well, and it's watching. Even though it's got a kill in its mouth, leopards are super opportunistic. Look at how she's watching. So the nyala's right here. There goes the nyala bouncing away, and she's going to watch that nyala. And even if she had a chance, if the nyala ran towards her, she would drop that scrub hare and go after it. And that's why leopards are one of the most successful cats that we get in the world, because they are able to kind of hunt things at random and all kinds of variety of foods. So Michelle, you're asking if she's comfortable around vehicles. As you can see here, she's walking right at me. She's not showing any aggression. She's not running off the road. If she was uncomfortable with me being in front of her, she would have cut off into the road, and also with the vehicles following behind her, she would have tried to have disappeared into a thicket. So she's more than comfortable with us. Like I say, this is a female that has been in this area for 12 years, and so she's had vehicles following her. Started to give her a little bit more room than what I have, because she's going to need to be able to walk. Mom will get a share of it, so between her and Mom they'll both feed, and it's just a little meal for them. Like I said, if you can imagine, if she gets 2 or 3 of these in a night, that'll be enough to kind of keep all of them well fed. But look how she's cutting off. You see, she knows now exactly where she's going to find her cub and to be able to try and then call it out. So I'm pretty sure the cub is right here somewhere. I know that she's hidden it somewhere here. Soon she'll drop that carcass and call. And before we see that little cub come out, one of the special things about being in the Sabi Sands is that you're able to track animals on foot, and Tayla has managed to find some lions.
Look at what we've got out here. We're in the middle of the Sabi Sand, not too far away from where you were with Tristan, on foot with the biggest cats in Africa. Now, there's lots and lots of long grass over here. And Sebastian's going to actually walk forward. I'm just going to very quickly get another view. Come and have a look. This is absolutely amazing. Now, Jolyn, you've just asked if there were lions in the area. Well, yes, there are. My name is Tayla, and on camera with me today is Sebastian. And there we go. How cool is that? To have lions. Now, because we're walking around in the Sabi Sand, it's one of the most amazing places in South Africa to come on safari. It is the #1 safari destination, and if you're lucky enough to go out on a bushwalk like what we're doing right now, you could have an encounter very similar to this. There are so many leopards, so many lions, so many amazing animals out here. But we don't want to stay here for too long. Now that we've found these lions, we've been tracking them all afternoon, we can call the safari cars on in so they can come and enjoy these animals well, not on foot, but in the car. But, of course, you were watching a beautiful spotted cat, one of the most elusive ones, and I'm going to send you back to Tristan so you can enjoy the show.
Well, look who's come out. The little cub has made an appearance. So there's that cute little face of the small one. So Mom has walked straight to her. And isn't this just the most amazing and uncanny thing, that a female leopard can go off and hunt and walk directly back to where her little one is sitting, even though she left it many, many hours ago. She managed to come down the road and straight to where this little cub is. Now the cub is tucking into the carcass. The cub is the one that has now got the scrub hair. And look how it's looking at it quizzically. I know it's very thick, dense grass, but this is where a leopard likes to leave its cub, and so it's the perfect place for leopards. They allow their cubs to hide here, and they go off and hunt and come back, and they know it's very difficult for other animals to find it. So we managed to get the little cub as well, which is so exciting. So Alyssa, it is now 5 past 5 in the afternoon here in South Africa, and so it's the perfect time of day now. Now in the summer months it's a little warmer, and so this is the time that the predators get active. And so you were wondering about when the cats are most active, and this is the time now. As that sun is starting to set, it's starting to cool down, and this is when lions and leopards and wild dogs will start to come out and start to move around as they begin prep for either hunting or trying to follow their prey, and being able to then try and kind of come up with a way to sort of hunt them, or to be able to go and scent mark. So it's the best time of day for the cats, and that's why we drive at this time of the day. It's also the temperatures are much better at this time of the day. Baharin, you say you're in Malaysia, and it's 11:05 p.m. there, so you're in the middle of the night, and I'm glad that you stayed up and managed to join us for this, and that you're interacting with us. It's always nice to hear from all the people around the world that end up watching what goes on with our show, and so I'm glad that you've joined us, and hopefully that you're enjoying it. Now, this little cub is busy snacking down below, and it's a bit of an obscured view, and so we're going to try and kind of see if we can find somewhere better to be able to see them. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you all with us this afternoon. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it, and we'll hopefully see you again on Safari Live, coming live from South Africa. Guys, how cool is this? So Tlalamba is with Thandi and is now playing with the scrubhare. I do want to move because if we go down onto the bottom of the bank, we're going to get a much better view of the two of them. But what an epic sighting, and a welcome back to the center of Djuma for our two favorite leopards, well, my two favorite leopards that we've got here. It's been so long, and this little cub is so big. I can't believe how much bigger it looks. At first, we were kind of looking at this little face through the grass, and we thought maybe that it was Thandi, and actually, it's the little one. And so she's growing up in front of us, and it's amazing to think that this is not even 100 meters from where we first had a sighting of her in that little cave as a tiny little fluff ball. So it's so cool to see her again, and I'm absolutely thrilled that we've managed to pick her up, and it's amazing that she's back in, like I say, the center part of Djuma. But what I want to try and do is try and just get into a better view. Also, there's some of the other guys that are with us here that haven't seen her, so I'm going to try and position so that they can see her and we can try and go maybe down. And because our car is so much smaller, it's going to be able to fit a little bit better down at the bottom. So that's kind of the plan for us, and that allows these guys to be able to get into a situation where they can also have a little look at mom and cub. And so that's what we're going to have to do, but it's going to be a bit of a kind of loop around to get there. Oh, now to say that it won't go for mom's milk every now and then, it will try, but I'm pretty sure Thandi is essentially trying to wean it as quick as possible and try and make sure that it's kind of kept off and off the teats and is now onto more meat and being able to then feed. Hello, girl. You're just sneaking your face out from behind the tree. Hopefully, I'm hoping that the little one decides to come and play on the sand, because it will be so nice if she does. But there goes Thandi deeper in, which is exactly what I didn't want, because we're not going to be able to keep view of her as she goes, unfortunately. So that might be the end of it for us, I'm afraid. As she goes down into that thicket, there's really no way for me to get signal down in there, and so I'm not sure. We'll see. It does climb quite a bit in about 50 meters from where she is. So I'm going to just stick around and just see if she starts to climb up a little bit and go onto the other side of this drainage. Then I might just try and reposition and try and see if we can maybe get a view. But for now, that might be the last sighting that we have of the two of them for today. So I'm pretty sure they'll still be around tomorrow, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Good. While I try and kind of think about where I can position and try and see if we can get some signal, let's send you across to Tayla. But Nikki is actually feeding the link that I'm giving Tayla to me. So she's going to go to Tayla and she's not going to go. So Nikki hasn't heard what she's saying. So, Nikki, you on the wrong radio before you go to Tayla, and she has no idea. Now you can go across to Tayla. Bouncing around actually behind her. So Thandi thinks that the cub is in front of her, but really the cub is behind her, throwing the scrub hair all over the place and kind of bounding around. Now we have the smallest of small windows that we can see this female and her little one, and so hopefully they don't move too much, because if they move too much from here, we've got no chance. This is as far as I can get. We're right on the edge of this bank, and in fact I've got a huge big stump in front of me that I can't get over, so it's about as good a view as we're going to be able to find. And if she moves from here, then we've almost got zero chance from there. But let's see, she's still contact calling. She's chuffing a little bit, so she's making that sound every now and then, and that's to basically try and call the cub back towards her and try and get the cub to sit. There's the cub bounding in the back, but oof, I don't know if you're going to get it. Just to the back left of where you've there's a tamburti tree somewhere in that little area. The cub is bounding in the long grass, and only when it throws this carcass up can we see it. But let me just try something, VM. Hold on. I think I might be able to get you guys a view of the little one. I just need to try. Come on, car, get windy. So, there we go. That's as far as I can get round, I'm afraid. And I don't know if it's far enough for VM to be able to see the cub. I don't think so. I'm going to have to do... I won't be able to move, unfortunately. I can just get Thandi, and that's it. So we'll just have to wait and see if we can get the cub to come. Well, if the cub will come back towards mom, and then we'll see it. But for now, it's just Thandi, which is fine. It's perfect. It's still a spotted cat, which is still exciting and still amazing. So Cecilia, Thandi used to spend a lot of time around camp. She used to see her there a lot. And Tulamba, not so much. Sort of used to spend more time in the drainage line south of camp, but she spent a lot of time walking around. Used to see her at Gallagher Pan, used to see her kind of walking between, well, where our cars park and all over those areas. But nowadays, no. Hukamuri spends so much time in that area. She doesn't seem to be spending time there, and Shadulu is also there so much that we're not seeing much of Thandi at all, I'm afraid, which is a bit sad. I was hoping that we would see Thandi a lot more than we have. Unfortunately, it's a situation with Hukamuri around. She won't spend time around the camp for now. Once this little one, if she manages to raise it successfully, she's then will start to kind of move and come back. But she's going off now. There we go. That's, I think, going to be our last views of her, I'm afraid. As she kind of moves off, it's impossible for us to go any further than where we are right now. I'm just waiting to see if maybe the little one bounds off and kind of comes towards where Thandi is, but I don't see any sign at this stage, unfortunately.
Hello, little one. Watching vultures. Better be careful if Hassan is around, because if there's anything like quarantine, one of the first jackal, that first jackal I saw here was actually killed by quarantine. Male leopard. There we go. Now we haven't seen much feeding sign on the elephant carcass from the cats. Gemma, one reason is when Hassana arrived there, he was quite full already, and I think he was more entertained. He was very, very full, and there's also a lot of competition around the carcass. Lions, the Nkumas, I think, didn't come here just in case they were disturbed, or that a carcass like this attracted the attentions of the Avoca males. So that's a possible reason why the lions didn't come here. Well, the lionesses. The male lions just weren't in the area. Both Birmingham's and Avocas are just haven't been in the area. That is the only reason. Well, we're hoping Sana will just come to us. So we're back. Oof, squawky vultures. And some fat hyenas. Now they've managed to get some of the trunk out from underneath the elephant where he fell. Now what I wanted to show you, and unfortunately it's covered in vultures now. Let me just use my hand. See there, Dave? You can see how the bone is broken straight through, and there's no hyena who can do that. And directly underneath the vultures, hopefully a hyena chases them. There we go. You can just see where the piece that broke off. So that would have broken as that animal hit the ground with such massive force. So that's why we're 100% sure it died standing up and not lying down. There we go. That's how you deal with a vulture. Thank you, hyena. Let's go back to the jaw now. We can see it nice and clearly. You can see it's very out of place, and that hasn't been moved by the hyenas of the vultures. That has broken from when they hit the ground. Yeah, hyena did the job for us. So there's still quite a bit of meat left on the trunk and on some of the legs, but the majority is disappearing very quickly. Now you can see they've eaten some of the trunk, but not all of it, Paula. Paula, they will feed on the trunk, but they're going to eat on areas that are a bit easier to feed on first before they take the massive task of cutting through the skin of the trunk. Okay, here comes the naughty hyena that likes to chase vultures again. That one to the right, not that one. Oh, look at them. favorite calls. I'm hoping we get some answers. What was that? Ooh. Like those hyenas are slowly heading back towards the carcass. Remember, after drive, you're going to be able to see what happens around that elephant carcass for the carcass camera. And if you want to find out how to access that camera, and remember, only after the end of the safari, you can do so on just by going to our Safari Live Facebook page. There is a little bloggy, notey, thingy, mabobby, jobby there that has the link in it. For those of you on Twitter, I also tweeted a link to that carcass camera on Twitter. So if you look on my personal Twitter, there is a link there, and I'm sure there's a link on the Wild Earth Twitter. Nicola? I'm waiting to find out. Yes, there should be. So if you look around, you should definitely find access to that carcass cam very easily.